Welcome back, guys, to Trails to Azure, where last episode we continued our Chapter 3 Day 2 patrol from East Street and the downtown district before we headed outwards to the boathouse, Tangram Gate, and Armorica Village, as we soon take on the next part of its quest line.
That Minnith fellow's planning on building something on our private property off the old Armorica Road. That's where we keep our farming tools, though. Guess we'll have to move the storehouse. I never would have imagined the village could change so rapidly. Must be thanks to Minnith's expertise. It's weird, isn't it? Unless there's something really nefarious about this, most of the villagers, are up for this. Really up. It feels like they would like it. Feels like we'd be stopping something they'd like at this point. It's a bit of a weird one. My husband's gone to visit Mr. Hayworth's home to discuss Derek's recent behaviour. We can't handle this on our own anymore. Dear goddess above, please watch over Armorica Village and guide Derek. Alright then, let's go to the residential district to patrol it first and then go to the Hayworth's house last and start off this quest. The setup is done. And I think over half of Crossbell is now patrolled. To the Hayworth's last. Oh wow, I never knew you could bake cookies in a frying pan. The basic idea is the same, yes, though you have to take care the dough doesn't stick. There's more than one way to cook anything, dear. You do well to remember that. I will, thanks, Granny. All there is left to do is wait for them to bake up. Try making another batch by yourself now. Granny just showed me how to bake cookies without an oven. Is there anything she doesn't know how to do? I totally have to show Sophia this later. Yeah, but they've got an onion. They don't need to... Oh, I smell something sweet coming from downstairs. Is someone baking? I gotta get in on that action. I kind of wonder what his identity really is, apart from, I want to schmooze with the nobles. Not got much else going on, has he? I don't think anyone's got as much of a handle on this car as you, Reggie. That's why we want to make you our go-to driver from now on. Sound good? Oh, you really think I'm that great? Alright then, just leave it to me. Man, I love flooring on the highway. Nothing but open roads out there. Not at all like the city. The wheel's yours from here on out, Reggie. Show us what you can do. I gotta tune this bad boy up so I can really open it up. Reggie may not look much, but put him behind the wheel and he'll leave anyone in the dust. He's not the son of a Verne Company Orbital car designer for nothing. RCL's revival debut is set for the day after tomorrow. Luckily, I was able to get my hands on A-section seating. I'm very much looking forward to it. Ooh. How many days is this chapter going to be? Events are happening. Ah, my goodness. When did I get so drowsy? I just might end up taking a nap right where I'm sitting. And that's the residential district. I must prepare Master Henry a meal that will rejuvenate him after his long day of hard work. But what would be best, I wonder? Well, how about lamb? It's high in protein yet low in calories, plus it has a wonderful flavour. I'm sure he'd love it. That's a good idea. You're very knowledgeable, my lady. But please, Joanna, you don't have to praise me over a simple meal suggestion. I'm a light eater, but a hefty serving of lamb may be just the thing for tonight's dinner. I'll need to do some grocery shopping at times in that case. Do you think they call the meat they get off creepy sheep lamb then? Master Henry has been preoccupied dealing with the ramifications of the independence proposal. He's meeting with Mayor Croyce at Orcus Tower as we speak. Now, if only he could pay that much attention to his health. If only. Oh, I'm really feeling doing a double session this weekend. 16 hours of Trails talking within... like a 30-hour period. Can feel the burn on the voice, on the vocal box, on the throat. Alright, I'll take upstairs first. What I could tell, Chief Tolta's son has got himself wrapped up in some troubling business. I hope it's nothing too cumbersome. Abba said he and Chief Tolta had something important to talk about, so he told us to go upstairs. Do you think it's got something to do with his work? Yes, it very much does. Time to go to work. Excuse us, you put in a request for the special support section. Ah, hello there, SSS. I can't tell you how glad I am that you're here to help with this again. Yes, thank you very much for coming. Can you tell us what's happened since yesterday, Chief Tolta? I understand there was a new development in the case. Yes, that's correct. I fear the situation is more dire than we originally thought. I'd like to discuss it in depth with you all right away. Would that be all right? Right now is fine. Please fill us in on the details. You mentioned that the situation has changed since yesterday. That it has. Yesterday evening, I went to the Ash Tree Inn in another attempt to persuade Derek. I told him that Minnith character was far too suspicious and that he had to break ties with him. He didn't beat around the bush then, huh? Not for a second, but in the end, Derek still refused to listen. However, I did learn something new, and so I hurried here to discuss the matter with Mr. Hayworth. Something new? Has Minnith taken some form of action? What Chief Tolta told me was... What Chief Tolta told me caught me off guard, if I may be frank. Minnith's grip on the village is far tighter than we had given it credit for. Would you mind elaborating? From what we learned yesterday, several villagers already trust him. Has it gone further than that? Well, you see, Minnith has not only secured the private property on Old Armorica Road, but also the deeds to numerous plots and fields in the village itself. He what? As shocking as that is, one question comes to mind. How was he able to pull off something that big? Good question. What we know, Minnith pitched a plan to increase Armorica's lotus production, as he puts it. By slowly accumulating deeds to the villagers' farmlands, he could expand the lotus fields and streamline their harvest. Moreover, management of the plots themselves would be contracted to the Quincy Company to reduce the required labor. That does line up with what we heard yesterday. At first blush, it sounds like a pretty good deal for the villagers. Yeah, too good to be true. As long as those deeds are in Minnith's hands, he can abuse the land in any way he wants. There'd be no coming back from that. Indeed, the man cannot be trusted by any means. Had he solely focused on that private property of ours, even the worst case scenario wouldn't be too terrible. Now that he's using plots of land within the village, the results could be catastrophic. You guys might be shit out of luck when it comes to breaking that contract, though. That's where you come in. If you can expose him, then perhaps the contract can be voided. I know there's nothing criminal happening on the surface here, but even still, can we ask you to look into this? Well, the SSS has never actually been all that beholden to CPD protocol. Our job is to support the citizens when they request it. You've given us enough reason to find Minnith suspicious, so we'll gladly help. Thank you, Detective Bannings. All of you have been our village's guardian angels. Where should we begin the investigation? I'm at a bit of a loss on that myself. Me too, it's not as if we have any smoking guns to look for. True. In that case, why not ask Ian for assistance? Do you mean Mr. Grimwood? Yes, granted we're only working off our suspicions at the moment, but if you explain the situation to Ian, he may be able to find a trace of something illicit in Minnith's actions. That sounds like a good idea. Even a shred of evidence against Minnith would be a good starting point for the investigation. I should warn you though, Ian's been incredibly busy ever since the mayor advocated for our independence. There's no guarantee he'll have the time to see you. Only one way to find out. Off to the Grimwood Law Office. Maybe we'll catch him, maybe we won't. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, let's go pay him a visit. We'll leave you to it then. I'll ask my business associates if they've heard any rumors about Minnith or the Quincy Company. We would appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. You're the only ones I can count on. I'm so powerless in all of this. It's just pathetic of me. Don't worry, Chief Tolta. We'll handle it from here. You just sit tight and relax. Maybe pray to the goddess for good luck while you're at it. Very well. I'll be waiting for you. Quest 1 Born Every Minnith has started. I'm Derek's father and the village chief, yet I'm so powerless in all of this. It's just pathetic of me. I beg of you, please expose Minnith for the monster he is. This whole incident has Chief Tolta worried sick, but I suppose that's only natural. It's involved not only his village, but his son as well. Still, too much stress can ruin your health. I'll do what I can to keep him calm. Oh, we have honey. It's so sweet and yummy. Papa must have brought this honey home from work yesterday. Maybe because he knows how much I love it. Mr. Hayworth's gone out. I guess he's gone to Grizzly Grimm's. Grimwood Law Office, are you here? He's contacting his associates then. Oh, Mr. Grimwood. We were afraid you might have been out of your office. Ah, yes, I was just in the middle of taking a much-needed break. But it would seem you're in desperate need of my counsel. Is it really that obvious? I've seen those looks on your faces coming through my door countless times by now. Please take a seat. I might be busy, but I'm happy to lend you an ear. Our apologies, and thank you. Lloyd and the SSS explained what they had learned about Minnith and his actions throughout the past 24 hours. They also mentioned that Minnith had been collecting deeds to plots of lands in Armorica Village. Oh, I see. That's quite a predicament the village has found itself in. A case such as this would typically be a top priority for me, but as you know, I've been busy this past week drafting up a preliminary constitution for the mayor. I apologize, but I won't have the time to handle this case personally. That's unfortunate, but we understand. We suspected that would be the case. Still, even just a consultation would be helpful. Very well, I'll give you any advice I can while you're here. We appreciate it, Mr. Grimwood. So, do you have any insight on this? At this point, there's no evidence of Minnith engaging in any unlawful activity. At least as far as we can tell. Is there something we're missing? Oh, he's definitely doing stuff, though. I do have one idea. Damn, already? Possibly. An Erebonian contact of mine once provided me with some reference material for a very similar case. Though I can't say the circumstances are an exact match. Any lead that can help us with the investigation is a good one. If you think this other case is worth mentioning, we'd be happy to hear about it. Very well, I can hardly refuse you all. From what I can recall, several years ago a man visited the estate of an Erebonian baron. He introduced himself as Rittner, an enterprising businessman working for a famous brewing company. Rittner presented the baron with an opportunity to become rich beyond his wildest dreams, and quickly at that. He proposed that the baron's barley fields would have been passed down the family for generations be used to establish a brewery. Wow, this is, yeah, no wonder you call this to this. The facilities would be constructed on the barony and his family would be responsible for managing them. That was the idea anyway. Hold on a second. What you're telling us is awfully reminiscent of what's going down in Armorica. The baron accepted the deal and signed Rittner's contract. Then, under the pretense of constructing the brewery, the fields and a portion of the baron's land were temporarily transferred to Rittner. Moreover, the baron converted his assets into capital for the sake of getting the business off the ground. However, Rittner soon disappeared with both the deeds and the capital, never to be seen again. The hell? The baron and his family panicked after suddenly losing contact with Rittner. At the time, they had no idea of the gravity of what was about to unfold. To their shock and surprise, they learned Rittner had sold the deeds to a third party. Lots of money. The land was to be repurposed into a villa resort. Today it stands as part of a suburb instead. In the end, the baron's family racked up a substantial debt. Before long, they had lost their entire territory. With that, the family was stripped of their rank and they vanished without a trace. Damn, that's one other story. That man conned them into giving up their property and sold it right under their noses. Who would even do such a thing? Your investigation immediately reminded me of that case. One person lies to earn another's trust before running off with a large fortune. It's a common strategy for committing fraud. Fraud? If this case is the same, then Minnith may not be a Quincy Company employee at all. He would simply be a conman trying to swindle Armorica for all they're worth. Precisely. I can't say for certain that's the case here, but I'm concerned it might be. I agree. There are too many parallels between that story and our case. It would be best if we shifted our focus to investigating this as a potential act of fraud. That changes the kind of leads we should be looking into. Exactly. As far as Minnith goes, there are two major areas that stand out to me as suspicious. First, that plan of his. We need to find out whether or not he's actually done anything to establish this Armorican Honey Company. We could probably figure that out by following the mirror trail. You have to apply for a bank loan to open a business in Crossbell. If it's all a sham, then we'll find the evidence we need at the IBC. The other point of concern is whether Minnith's actually an employee of the Quincy Company. The Quincy Company's headquarters aren't in Crossbell though, so that'll be a little tougher to ferret out. I may be able to help with that. We should try stopping by my grandfather's home. The McDowell estate? Why? There should be a brochure about the Quincy Company there. It outlines how the company operates. We may be able to find some useful information.
What's something like that doing in your grand's pad, mademoiselle?
Well, because I happen to enjoy making sweets, alright? I once took an interest in the Quincy Company, so I ordered one of their brochures. Last I recall, it was on a shelf in my old bedroom. Then again, I doubt a simple brochure would have all the information we need.
I wouldn't be so quick to discount the possibility. It's official Quincy Company material. You might be able to find something that conflicts with what Minnith said. It never hurts to cover all of your bases.
Agreed. Let's drop by the McDowell estate too and see how it pans out. Thanks for all the invaluable advice, Mr. Grimwood. Because of you, we finally have some leads to chase down.
Always happy to be of service. Just to confirm, you said you were using the Hayworth residence as a base of operations, yes?
Yeah, we are.
Very well then, I'll lend you my help with this case for as long as time permits me. Though unfortunately I can't make any promises given my other responsibilities.
That's not a problem at all. You've already helped us immensely. It's nice having a professional in the neighborhood we can lean on.
I'll try to meet up with you at the Hayworths later. Good luck with your investigation until then.
Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, let's get this investigation underway. To start, we'll need to go to the IBC and look into Minnith's plan regarding the Armorica Honey Company. It'll be a good idea to swing by the McDowell estate for that brochure too. Something in there might contradict Minnith's words. That gives us a total of 2 leads to follow up on. Roger, we won't rest until we find that evidence.
You can count on my help with this case for as long as my time allows. Trying to make my way to the Hayworth residence later. Good luck with your investigation until then.
But I'm with him on this. He's busy with a thing, but I'm with him on this. This case isn't something that could be overlooked. I thought it was the same dialogue, first of all. I'll try to help out as much as I can, too.
Who is this mysterious young boy? So we need to go to the IBC, a place we haven't swept yet on our patrol. And the easiest first place to go
is Ellie's old room. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Is this what we got the recipe from in Zero? This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier.
Damn, they even had this sucker bound. Can't say they didn't put any effort into the thing.
They have ample resources to do so, considering the size of the company. Whatever is written inside should be sufficiently credible. It's a good thing we stopped by for it. Alright, let's take a closer look inside. As the leader in confectionery manufacturing, the Quincy Company strives tirelessly towards its next innovation. This brochure aims to briefly introduce the methods and creeds that drive our passion. We believe the key aspect of any confectionery is its taste. Otherwise, how could anyone enjoy it? With this belief as a core tenet, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of its products. Our factories are fitted with the latest equipment and operated with the utmost attention to hygiene. Here at the Quincy Company, we are particularly not just about the quality of our ingredients, we are particular even, but where they are sourced as well. Our product development pipeline too is run with the strictest of standards. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Only then can they reach the production line. This has been a Quincy Company tradition since its founding, such that we may deliver our valuable customers nothing less than the finest confectionaries to enjoy. It is this commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company the exceptional confectioner it is today. I'm not sure what we were expecting. This is all just your typical corporate double talk. Did anybody manage to find a contradiction between this and something Minnith has said? Not in particular. Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. I thought there was a... Do executives have to taste the product to then decide if it's right? Because of course he doesn't like it. It's more like... Is that like an actual you have to understand, taste the product and know what you're tasting to be an employee? Didn't say it locked in stone, did it? Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. Actually, I did notice something. You did? Oh, I get it. You just activated the old detective mode and bam, right? Well, don't leave us hanging. What'd you find? If you remember what Minnith told us at the hotel yesterday, the answer is obvious. It was only a passing remark, but it still comes into major conflict with what's written in this brochure. We'll have to prove that he isn't, in fact, an employee of the Quincy Company to begin with. You got that much out of this one little pamphlet? That's right. You see, if Minnith... Sorry to cut you off, but where's the fun in spoiling it all now? What are you talking about? Well, if I'm being honest, it's annoying that you're the only one who's figured it out. So why not give the rest of us a chance and save it for when we interrogate Minnith? Wazi, this is an investigation, not some game. I agree with Wazi, actually. Your hypothesis might not be accurate after all. As a precaution, we shouldn't let ourselves be swayed by a mere hunch. Not to mention, I don't appreciate you stealing the spotlight with your detective mode, as Randy put it. Why do I get the feeling that second comment was the real reason she doesn't want me to share? Fine, if you two insist. Instead, I want you all to consider everything we've learned so far. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebook. All that's left for us is to visit the IBC to see what we can find out there. Either way. Oh, I want to see your summarization, actually. Company's culture prioritizes high-quality products above all else. Their factories have state-of-the-art equipment, and they are particularly about the quality of their ingredients as well as where they are sourced from. Quincy executives sample product prototypes and decide whether they are worthy of being brought to market. So it's just the fact that he's not sampling it, because he doesn't like that stuff. But the executives are desired to. Must be something else in there too. Right, the IBC then. Lovely morning, wouldn't you say? The weather's as pleasant as ever. And what better place to enjoy it than here at this spot? The air is fresh and crisp and the view just can't be beat. Loves his job as a security guard. What's wrong with that? There have been numerous reports of unknown creatures appearing around the state. The security department isn't limited to anti-personnel tactics, so we know a fair bit about counteracting monster attacks. But that's no reason to get complacent. We have to be ready for anything. We're still here? Prices have been taking an interesting turn in the Republic this morning. I'd be sitting pretty had I bought that stock I was eyeing earlier. Well, hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? Nothing that can be done about it now. Shame. I heard the last remaining Calvardian terrorists from the trade conference were finally arrested yesterday. Apparently they were caught trying to return to the Republic by rail. It turned into a huge incident. That must have been a real fright for the passengers. Doubt any of them have expected to share a train with wanted fugitives. It was us. These days Miss Croyce is so busy that she can't always make time for lunch. That's why she often carries meal replacement bars with her while she travels. Hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today? Well, we'd like to ask for the IBC's cooperation with an investigation we're working on. Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Lanfei? We're hoping to look into some suspicious mirror transfers from a certain depositor. You want me to pull up private information on one of our clients, then? Doing so is within company policy if it's related to a criminal inquiry. But would you mind telling me the details of the situation first? Not a problem. Lloyd provided all the information they had on the suspected fraud case. I see. I believe I understand the circumstances now. Will this be sufficiently probable cause for us to conduct a search? Cracking down these kind of things is in the bank's best interest too. Fraud would damage your reputation. You are correct, and this is related to a legitimate investigation. I can help, but you'll have to settle for me, simply telling you what I can pull up on my terminal screen here. That's more than enough, if you would please. Very well. First, let me search for an account registered under the name Minnith. Armorica Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. There we are. We do indeed have an account opened under that name. Hold on. What happened? Did you find something incriminating? Well, I don't have the authority to tell you the exact balance on record, but I will say that the Armorica Honey Company has no more than the minimum deposit in its account. What exactly does that mean? Basically, corporate accounts require an initial sum of capital to open. In this case, that base amount is all there is. From what you've told me, that would leave tens of thousands of mirror unaccounted for. Minnith has the construction of the factory, management of the fields, and more to cover. It's simply impossible for any minimum deposit to be capable of financing all of it. That much is clear. And despite him holding the titles to the land and signing several deals, the balance hasn't changed a single time. It's suspicious, to say the very least. By which I mean this account appears to have been made for the sole purpose of gaining Derek's trust. Things clearly aren't adding up here in more ways than one. Yeah, it's just the kind of evidence we needed. We appreciate your cooperation, Lanfei. Not at all. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Should you ever require anything more, please don't hesitate to ask. Keep that in mind. Okay, we now have material on every suspicious aspect of Minnith and his plan. Let's make our way back to the Hayworth residence. You got it. Please let us know if you're ever in need of anything else. We're always happy to assist you in whatever we can. So, like, that's super evidence that this is going down the scammy path now. I was a bit weirded out then. We were at the top. What information does that give me? So we know they didn't have the staff, so it's basically is what Mr. Grimwood said, most likely. That's how this all seems to be turning out. Ah, it's the SSS. There you all are. Mr. Grimwood, I'm glad you could make it. Did you just get back yourself, Mr. Hayworth? Yes, I finished asking my business associates about the matter at hand. How did things go on your end? We were able to round up a few leads thanks to Mr. Grimwood. How about you, Mr. Hayworth? I did just the same, in a manner of speaking. You see, I'm not quite sure what to make of it all. Well, you went through the trouble of digging up that info, so you may as well share with the rest of the class. Agreed, the information may be beneficial to our investigation. I suppose you're right. I asked my business associates if the name Minnith rang any bells, having never heard it myself. What they informed me is that he's been making inquiries into a certain market since arriving in Crossbell. And what market would that be? Land prices in various locations throughout Crossbell. Land prices? He sounds more like a real estate agent at this point. Why would a Quincy company employee even need that kind of information? The answer to that just might be instrumental in helping us figure out Minnith's true objective here. You think so? Certainly something worth considering. Incidentally, I may have discovered something else of note since we last saw one another. Huh? Harold, Chief Tolta, can I ask you to help me find something in my office? At your office, Ian? I don't mind, but is it important? Well, it isn't substantial enough to prove anything in and of itself, but we may be able to use it as a final nail in the coffin once you pin Minnith down. You really got something like that up your sleeve, Grizzly Grim? Possibly, but we may not make it in time, so please don't wait for us. You want to get to Armorica Village as quickly as you can. If Minnith is the criminal we think he is, then his plan could very well be in its final stages as we speak. I'm confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough for you to solve the case. Best of luck, SSS. Got it. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, guys, off to Armorica Village. It's time to reveal Minnith's true colors and stop his phony deals dead in their tracks. Right. I'll return to the village after I help Mr. Grimwood find whatever it is he's looking for. Until then, I leave my son in your hands. Please do what you can to save Derek from himself. I'll drive Ian and Chief Tolta over to Armorica in my car once we're done. In the meantime, tread carefully, everyone. Don't let that Minnith get the best of you. The evidence I'm searching for may serve as the final nail in Minnith's coffin once you pin him down. In any case, you should hurry your way over to Armorica Village soon. If Minnith is the criminal we think he is, then his plan could very well be in its final stages as we speak. I'm confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough. Okay, thank you. You still got the same dialogue. So it is, whatever's going on is going on. It's a land grab. It's just going to sell it. He is literally most likely the same guy as was in the other case, completely and utterly. If a con works once, why wouldn't you do it again? Especially if it's as lucrative as that. Off we go then. I might drop a save, because we haven't probably in a while. Maybe in less time than we thought. Armorica Village. Don't worry, we've got guns. Don't think we'll need them, but we've got guns.